Hello and welcome back to the Deep Dive. Sometimes the most profound insights, they don't come from these big, complicated theories.
No, not at all.
They come from just breaking down the everyday.
Right.
And today, we are going to dive into the blueprint of, well, a functional 24 hours. We've been given what is basically a map, a detailed list of all the key actions that define a structured day.
And that map is surprisingly revealing. I mean, most of us just go through our routines on autopilot. But when you boil a whole day from, say, 7.15 in the morning to 11.00 at night down to just 26 core actions, you really start to see the skeleton of human efficiency.
So that's the mission today.
That's the mission. We're going to analyze this minimal set of verbs, figure out what the non-negotiables are, and kind of understand the behavioral science that's hidden in all that mundane stuff.
It's a real shortcut to being well-informed about yourself, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're looking at these actions, making coffee, answering emails, all of it, not as chores, but as data points. They show us how we actually spend our energy. And the source material, it contrasts two very similar routines. We'll call them Lisa's and Alex's. It lets us see the common ground, even with personal preferences.
Exactly. By comparing those two paths, we get a baseline. It makes you ask, what are the absolute core things you need for self-care, for productivity, and for rest?
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Let's start right at the beginning, that moment, that critical boundary between being asleep and being, well, awake and active.
The very first action, wake up, it immediately shows us something about flexibility. We see Lisa's routine starts, sharp at 7:15 a.m.,
Right.
but Alex's allows for a 7:30 start, and sometimes even sleeping a little longer.
And that 15-minute difference, that says a lot. It shows that having a consistent routine doesn't mean you have to be a robot.
Not at all.
That 15 minutes is fascinating because no matter the exact time, the next step is maybe the most important one of all. Get out of bed. If you look at this from a behavioral science angle, that verb is the first and maybe the hardest use of willpower all day.
It's the critical first movement. It's the non-negotiable step that shifts you from that passive state of sleep to the active, productive state of the day. Without that initial push, nothing else on the list can happen.
And once you've spent that bit of willpower, the routine just kind of flows into this rapid self-care block. We see a cluster of essential hygiene actions. Go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, wash my face.
Yeah. These are classic examples of what we call habit stacking. They're automatic, low-effort tasks. They happen in a set order, and they're designed to have almost no friction. You don't decide if you'll brush your teeth. You just do it when you're at the sink. It's the first self-care block.
Then we move to fueling up. A quick shift from the bathroom to the kitchen.
Yeah.
And the breakfast here are all about speed and simplicity.
We see two different but equally efficient ways to refuel with low friction. Lisa's routine is all about making coffee and eating toast. Sometimes she'll swap in yogurt or an apple.
So quick prep, quick energy. Whereas Alex goes for a different combo, drinking tea and eating cereal. The key thing here isn't the food itself, it's the speed, the predictability.
Right. Both breakfasts are fast, they're functional, they're designed to cut down on decision fatigue before the real work starts. The goal of this whole morning audit is just to move from private comfort to public readiness as quickly as possible.
And that readiness is wrapped up by the action, get dressed. I mean, we all know what putting on clothes means, but here it's more than just staying warm. It's that final step in getting ready for, public presentation.
It's drawing a line between the home mindset and the engagement with the world mindset. And the conditional things that follow, put on my shoes, put on my jacket, that's just the final layer of armor before you walk out the door.
It's impressive how seamlessly it all flows. Self-care, food, presentation, all setting you up for focused work.
Right. And once that morning prep is done, you have to leave the house and go to work.
And we noted a small difference here. One person works in an office, the other sometimes works from home, but the key actions are pretty much the same.
Yeah, the professional block is where all the task verbs take over. It's defined by structured interaction and technology. It all starts with physically planting yourself. Sit at my desk.
Which immediately leads to technology. Work on my computer. And then the source gives us these really specific verbs for modern productivity. Answer emails, write notes.
And the big one, have a meeting with my team.
The interactive necessity, yeah.
And if you connect this to the bigger picture, these actions are all grouped together because they all serve one goal: processing information and communicating. The professional world is interactive. It relies on digital tools and scheduled time with your team.
Okay, here's where the structure gets really revealing. That entire morning block seems designed to lead up to one specific time anchor, 1:00 p.m. lunch.
Yes.
And that break isn't just about food, it's a structural reset. It breaks the intense focus of the morning.
And the lunch details from Lisa and Alex, they really emphasize the need for sustained energy in the afternoon. Health and variety are key. Lisa often has a sandwich or soup, sometimes a salad.
It's flexible, but consistent in type.
Right. While Alex sticks to something hearty and reliable, rice and vegetables. The takeaway is that lunch is fuel, not just leisure time, because the afternoon needs that renewed focus.
And after that refueling, the commitment to work is summed up in this one really direct phrase, go back to work.
That phrase is so simple, but it signals the mental effort it takes to switch back into task mode after a break. It's the rule for the afternoon.
So this whole professional block is just this dense cluster of purpose-driven actions. It's bracketed by the transition into work, and then eventually the shift out of it.
The day then hinges on this really powerful emotional cue, which the source calls the best part of the day.
Ah, yes.
When the day ends, I go home. That phrase, go home, is the signal. Duty's done. Recovery can start.
And when you get home, the first actions are all about fast, passive decompression. We see you relax on the sofa and watch TV. This is clearly someone intentionally de-stressing before they have to do more active things.
That separation is critical. The first verbs are pure relaxation, a low-effort mental offload. The next set, well, they require renewed, non-professional effort, domestic chores.
Centered around dinner, of course. Both routines include cooked dinner, which shows that meal prep is central to the evening. Lisa goes for staples like pasta or chicken with rice.
And Alex uses simple, comforting options like make soup or eggs sometimes.
And after the meal, we get to the chore that nobody loves but everyone has to do, wash the dishes.
Yes, the source just states it flatly, not fun, but necessary.
I think we can all relate to that. It's the cost of eating. But once that's done, the evening shifts into deeper, more personalized leisure and connection.
The methods for decompressing here are really varied. It shows how personal a mental reset can be. We see the solitary focus of read a book, or the social side, talk to my sister family on the phone.
And there's also a preference for physical activity as a calming thing. Go for a walk. The sources even say why it's beneficial. It's quiet outside and good for both body and mind. It's a very intentional choice.
And finally, just before sleep, one person chooses to listen to music, specifically soft songs before bed, using sound as a final tool to prepare the brain for rest.
The day then winds down with that necessary repeat of self-care. Brush my teeth again. It's the final act of hygiene before the final action of the day. Go to bed.
And just like in the morning, we see that little bit of flexibility here too. Lisa usually goes to bed at 10:30 p.m., but Alex is a little later, around 11:00. That pattern of personal flexibility is there right to the very end.
So what does this all mean? We've just mapped out an entire structured day using, about 26 fundamental verbs and phrases. We've gone from waking up, through work, through chores, right up to the point of rest.
It raises a really important question. Why is this minimalist so powerful for understanding how we behave? When you group these actions, wake up, make coffee, have a meeting, cook dinner, go to bed, they're the architectural pillars of a functional life.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
They cover universal human needs: self-care, sustenance, income, home maintenance, connection, and finally, recovery.
It's a template for making the most of your limited cognitive resources. The genius of a routine like this is that it cuts down on the need to think about what's next. It frees up energy for focused work or creativity.
The efficiency is baked right into the order.
Exactly.
And the source material itself gives this remarkable advice for anyone trying to build a new routine, or really for anyone trying to master any complex body of knowledge, which is exactly what you, our listeners, are doing. It's all about beating information overload.
It recognizes that we all get overwhelmed by a huge list of new things, and the rule is so simple, but so effective. Don't try to learn them all at once. The method is just pure focus. Pick one. Say it today.
And they give these really practical, actionable steps for making it a habit. They link the new action to old established ones. For instance, they suggest things like write it down or say it in the mirror.
But the best suggestion, I think, is integrating it into a routine you already have. They say to whisper it while you brush your teeth.
That is a genius piece of advice.
Isn't it? You're leveraging a deeply automatic action, something you do every day without fail, as an anchor for new information.
And the philosophy behind that advice is maybe the biggest takeaway. It really emphasizes patience, perseverance. The source material frames learning beautifully, telling the learner that even mistakes are just temporary because learning is like planting a seed.
A slow, steady process. You start small. One word today, one sentence tomorrow. And that commitment to consistency, it eventually leads to flow. That's the goal. Soon the source promises you'll do the routine or use the knowledge without thinking.
Yeah.
It's just a powerful, supportive message for anyone trying to build confidence.
The goal is sustained competence, not flash-in-the-pan perfection.
So in this deep dive, we've mapped a daily routine structured by less than 30 fundamental actions. We've seen the intention and the efficiency built into that template, stretching from 7:15 in the morning to 11:00 at night.
We saw that the efficiency depends on consistency, but also on subtle flexibility. Lisa's and Alex's routines, they showed that the variability, especially in the morning and evening, was always around that 15-minute mark.
Which leads us to our final thought for you to reflect on. We've looked at the universal map of a structured day. Now, think about your own day. Which single action, if you adjusted it by just 15 minutes later, or just 15 minutes more focused, would have the biggest positive ripple effect on everything else?
Identify that one small change that could significantly improve your quality of life or your focus. Thank you for taking this deep dive into the architecture of the day with us.
And remember that philosophy. Keep practicing. Be patient with yourself. You are learning and you are doing great.
We believe in you.
Until our next deep dive.